See if you can find one. That'd be better. Brand new one would be. Not that expensive. How much is it? Probably anywhere from, depending on brand, either $700. You know, they're not horrible expensive. Just the new ones now, they're all, they can do all the computer control. Maybe losing another channel. I'll patch it in another channel. Okay, we're in the rock and roll. You remember your new time frame, right? Right, this. Okay, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Let's do a tech check. People in Zoom land, are we coming through loud and clear? And that little antenna box there, show me the face of it if you would. Okay, good, because that's what we've been running into. Someone turned the volume all the way down on us once, and it's like, okay, we got no audio. And then we didn't know it till the end of a meeting here. Okay, we got 4 of the 5 trustees. Trustee King will not be joining us tonight. And with that, please join me in Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, do we have any additions, deletions, or correction to our agenda? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda.
Second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Our next item number 3, our consent agenda with the meeting minutes from the August 15th meeting. Are there any additions, corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the consent agenda from August 15th, 2023.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve our consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 4, our marshal's report. Marshal Goings, you're up. You wanted me to do the 3-minute timer.
I told him this was how long the meeting could be right here. So he's working really hard on it. Marshal's report, we have 44 calls for service. Probably our worst one was we found a parole violator for kidnapping in the park there. He got arrested. Yeah, absolutely. We assisted 3 agencies 3 other times. They assisted us 3 times, so we're pretty fair on that report. All my reporting for the month was done. The evacuation exercise that's coming up. Thank you to everybody who's going to be participating in that on September 25th. There will be the opportunity for the community to become involved with that and become role players in that evacuation exercise. So look forward to stuff from that. I know it was in the church's newsletter. So easy way to sign up, go click on their stuff. So Woodland Park PD had their Salute to Veterans POW MIA motorcycle rally. We assisted with that. Beyond that, it was a pretty boring month. It was awesome.
Okay, any trustees, any questions, comments? Thank you, Marshal Goings, and you beat your timer. Okay, well, that will go into public comment, and we'll have, well, it looks like we got a public commenter. Oh, okay. Before, so we'll stay in reports,
Thank you.
add in a PRT report.
So PRT is going to host a pool party this Friday from 4 to 8 to celebrate some successes. Trail ambassadors, the success of the pool this year and other things. So we hope you all will attend that. We've done 2 community engagements about the Stilling Basin Park project. We've been working with the landscape architect and a designer and making a lot of headway with the community coming up with plans for that park. So wanted to make you aware of where we're at on that. And then Kirkpatrick Foundation has suggested that they would like to make a 2026 gift to the community, which would be a rehab of Pool Park. The PRT has put together a list of ways that we can help get that accomplished. We're looking at 3 precept workshops to define the scope, 6 to 8 months of community engagement, and then another 9 months of engineering and design and time to order equipment, all to be shovel ready by September 25, with hopes that we would cut a ribbon on the new park in 2026. And I wanted to just bring that to your attention and get some buy-in.
Trustees, questions, comments? I love it. Personally, anytime we can get additional assistance with renovating what we have and our assets, I just really appreciate it.
There should be some opportunities for us to sync up some other grants as we apply for funding to the master grant or the master parks plan.
Thank you, Jesse. Was this a report or? This is public comment. Okay, so we're moving into item 5, public comment, 3 minutes per speaker.
All right, Nancy Dixon, 11045 Iona Avenue, and I'm here to share some really great news with Trail Ambassadors. So we ended our 3rd season this Sunday, and we greeted and educated 1,145 hikers, which is a few hundred less than last year. But if you recall, June was pretty cool and rainy. And so we had less hikers that we engaged with in June. But over the 3-year total, we've engaged, guided, welcomed 3,768 hikers. So I want to give a shout out to all my volunteers, because without my volunteers, I wouldn't have a successful program. This program would not be successful. So my 3-year veterans are Todd and Priscilla Clayton, Beth Deutsch, Todd Dixon, Jay Kita, Kathleen Morrow, Judith Piazza, Lori Worthy, Jean Zay, and myself. We have 2-year veterans who either did 2021 to 22 or 2022 to 23. And they are John Bell, Lisa Bonwell, Peter Carter, Dory Guyan, Julie Horner, Brandy Morellis, and Sherry Zergus. And then we have our brand new trail ambassadors for this year. And Deanna Chicolo, Mark and Shelley Scott Nash, and Justin. And so I really want to give a big shout out to my volunteers, because we wouldn't have this program without them. And I want to have a big thanks to the board and the town for supporting and encouraging this program. One more thing, just to took my thunder away, but I was going to invite everyone, extend an invitation to our pool party this Friday. PRT is sponsoring this to celebrate all the wonderful successes this little town has done this summer. You look around the volunteers, the activities, the things that have been accomplished. Let's celebrate that. Let's have some positivity. Let's enjoy each other and go to school. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Any other commenters?
Do I have any public comment from Zoom? I think we're all set there.
Okay. With that, we'll move on to item 6, our business items. Our first one up is Creek Week. And I guess Ally is here to speak to us about that.
All right. Good evening, Mayor and trustees and members of the public. My name is Ally Shook. I'm the Executive Director of the Fountain Creek Watershed District, and we are thrilled to be here to announce our 10th annual Creek Week cleanup. I started this program 10 years ago as a way to connect our citizens to our home watershed. We wanted to do a bit of good for water, our most precious resource. And just in our first year, we had 600 people volunteered. They removed 6 tons of trash that very first year. It was a pretty good, accomplishment for a first time event. Due to the strong partnerships that we've been forming with our local governments, businesses, churches, schools, and service groups, we've grown Creek Week to be the largest cleanup in the state of Colorado, and we're super proud of that. We've inspired 20,000 citizens in removing over 140 tons of trash. That's the weight of a blue whale, okay, the biggest animal on the planet. Pretty cool stats. We're beautifying the natural environment that we all enjoy. We're protecting water quality and preventing storm drains from clogging and wildlife from being injured. This year, we aim to make the biggest impact yet. We have a goal of engaging 4,000 citizens in 10 watershed communities from Palmer Lake to Pueblo and beyond. In addition to the cleanups, we have land management activities where citizens can help remove non-native plants, work on trails, and restore riparian habitats. And this is my favorite one. We're going to have our first ever impactful IPA beer that we brewed. We have Colorado's only Brew Shed Alliance as one of our programs in the district. And it's a way to connect our citizens through the beer water connection. And so we'll be getting $1 per beer that'll be available at 17 different breweries across our watershed. So we're looking forward to that as well. Creek Week kicks off Saturday, September 30th. It runs for 9 days. And we like to say 9 days, no excuses, right? There's no reason for everyone not to get out and do your part for a healthy watershed and have fun. How many of you have done Creek Week in the past? Okay, it's fun, it's easy. You make a great amount of impact in just a short time. And so we are just hoping everyone will take the time to figure out when they can get out there and do it. And I believe, does one of the trustees have information about your Green Mountain Falls cleanup? I thought someone was going to be October 8th. There you go. So save the date, October 8th cleanup here in Green Mountain Falls. And happy to entertain any questions you might have, but we're just really excited and hope to see you out there.
Okay, trustees, questions, comment. I do have a question, but it's totally off subject.
I'll take it all. Yep. What do you got?
Through the watershed, is there any opportunity for, say, early warning flood systems?
I know Mile High Flood District in Denver has done that, and that's something that has come across to me before as an opportunity. Is that something you want to chat about offline sometime?
Yes, please.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for your time tonight. Appreciate it.
Okay. And with that, I need to read the proclamation, correct? Okay, and yeah, we will have noise periodically, so just, it's just there. It's off. Yeah. It's nothing related to the microphones, it's related to the speaker wiring. So, okay. 2023 Creek Week proclamation. Whereas the town of Green Mountain Falls is fortunate to have extensive and diverse natural resources, and whereas the Fountain Creek watershed is a unique and important asset to the residents of and visitors to the town, the Pikes Peak region, and whereas the Fountain Creek Watershed District is a proud partner and collaborator with its member governments, and whereas the Fountain Creek Watershed District is celebrating its 10th annual Creek Week cleanup, which offers volunteers the opportunity to protect, steward, and maintain the Fountain Creek watershed. And whereas Creek Week is a litter cleanup, education, and restoration effort throughout the watershed set for September 30th through October 8th, 2023, the largest cleanup event in the state of Colorado. And whereas nearly 20,000 volunteers have removed over 135 tons of trash during Creek Week over the past 9 years during this impactful program. And Whereas Creek Week litter removal and restoration activities will continue to reduce pollution in our creeks and our connecting waterways, manage flooding, provide for a safer drinking water supply, and enhance wildlife habitat and property values. Now therefore, the members of the Green Mountain Falls Board of Trustees, Colorado, encourage businesses, churches, schools, nonprofits, neighborhood associations, youth groups, service clubs, and individuals to form creek crews to volunteer their hearts and hands to this effort. We now hereby proclaim September 30th through October 8th, 2023 as 10th Annual Creek Week in Green Mountain Falls, and invite our citizens to help protect, restore, and maintain our waterways by participating in the many activities, programs, and events done this 5th day of September 23 in Green Mountain Falls, Colorado. And I would need a motion and a second to approve it.
I move that we approve 2023 Creek Week proclamation.
I'll second that. It's been moved and second. We approve the 2023 Creek Week proclamation. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Then motion carries. Yes. And thank you for coming and speaking with us. Okay. Let me get back up to the. Okay, our next item of business is the Kirkpatrick Family Fund, a grant. And David, did you want to speak on this? Okay. Okay, yeah, probably ought to go through a quick brief. Okay.
So you have in your application, or in your packet, an application to the Kirkpatrick Family Foundation requesting $65,000 to be utilized as a match for additional funds that CUSP has for the fir-wern or state forest service grants. They did have some additional funding that was unutilized in that program. This allows the town to utilize that 60-40 cost share and exhaust some of those additional funds from CUSP to do some additional mitigation. The area that was selected will depend upon workability, but it will tie into a project area that the State Forest Service will be working up above Thomas Trail.
It's up back this way, I believe.
Yeah.
I think we had some pictures here
Yeah.
earlier.
And there
in
are
case anyone-
there are some maps here available for the public if they would like to see. So this grant application was actually due September the 1st. We went ahead and submitted it. We're asking you to approve it so that we do not have to withdraw it.
Bo, could you pull up the Adrian map? I think it'd be good to show folks what has all been done and whatnot.
Oh, it should be in that folder. I put it
Should
into
be
the
in the
work session
folder.
folder. Yeah. Try to help sometimes.
And just so the public knows, there is monies kind of that's really kind of expected from the town, but that's 2024 monies. And we obviously have to go through our budgeting process to be able to allocate. And if we can't get it, that's fine too. I thought it'd be good to pop it up because it's a nice visual. And the light green areas are what has already been done by CUSP. The hashed area next to one light green area up on Thomas Trail, that's the Mile High Youth. And yeah, I just think that, with 100 years of, what we're learning to be incorrect forest management, to have this much done already, by now in what, 3 to 5 years. To me, that's impressive.
I will add too that there is still some funding available for private property owners wishing to do mitigation on their property through the same agreement with CUSP. If private citizens would want to take advantage of that, this funding will sunset. We have a limited amount of time to get that going. There is information on the town's website under the fire mitigation tab. It'll link
Okay.
them right to CUSP.
Thank you. Got to use a mic. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, David Douglas, Fire Mitigation Advisory Committee Chair. Just one clarifying point is it slipped my mind. This oh, I know what it is. So we originally had been told by Adrian Knight that both these grants would term out at the end of this year, so 12/31. And it was only recently that Adrian sent me an email and said, hey, I started looking at these grants and I realized that I've been telling you all the wrong information. One of the grants terms end of April of 24, and the other one terms the end of October 24. So, we realized that we have an opportunity to, a little more time to do something here, to make use of these grants. And we all know and understand that, the city has limited resources, and that's one of the reasons that we wanted to make application to the Kirkpatrick Family Fund to help us with our portion of the cost sharing match. But and we also need to get the word out, as Becky just said, to homeowners, because we've also told our homeowners that we're going to term out at the end of this year, and we need to let people know that these funds will still be available. And one other clarification, I think I said in the work session that there are 44 acres available under this grant. And I said, it's kind of, it's a soft number. As Becky pointed out, there's a certain number of acreage that can be dedicated to private homeowners. So that comes out of the 44 acres. So let's say that, we have homeowners that want to take this up, and it takes, then in a combined total, it's 4 acres. Then the amount that the town would be looking at would be 40 instead of 44. So the numbers can move around, I guess is the bottom line. So thanks. Okay.
Okay, with that, you want to go back to her? There we go. So yeah, trustees, questions, comments, discussion.
Just a question about the map. One of the stars was over an area that didn't look like it was Green Mountain Falls.
I think that map included additional private property that was done by private property owners.
I thought this was land that that had not been mitigated
One of
right there.
these?
Yes. The one,
Okay, that's
the lower one, the lower right corner. That star.
That's identified as a future treatment area.
Whose property is it? Is that historic Green Mountain Falls?
Bo has a
Foundation.
fancy app. Please stand by.
Maybe.
feel
Yeah,
like
it
it's
looks like it might be outlined with that. Okay,
It
thanks.
says
I
it's
just,
outlined with historic Green Mountain Falls Foundation parcels. Yeah.
It's my understanding from talking to Jesse, that, I'm sorry, to Adrian, that, the grant encompasses the town-owned land, private property owners, including Historic Green Mountain Falls Foundation.
Yeah, but the money we're going after would be for town only.
Only
correct?
town
Right.
of Green Mountain Falls.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. We need to make that distinction because we can't
But you
use
can't, yeah,
town funds for
I
private.
totally understand. That's why, the number of acres can move around.
Yep.
Yeah,
understand.
okay.
Yep. I got it.
Thank you.
Trustees, other questions, comments? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
A motion to approve the Kirkpatrick Family Fund grant.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approved the grant request for the Kirkpatrick Family Fund. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item 6C, the code enforcement memo. We did have some discussion on this during our work session. One of the items that came up during the work session was to have a file, because we believe that there's a lot of code enforcement actually going on that people just don't know about it. And so we're going to try to somehow catalog that, compile it, so we can get the word out. So since this is personnel matter, then I would say there's no board action on it. So moving on to item 6, pardon me, give my screen back. 6 Delta, Rhino Rock design approval.
You have before you a estimate that was prepared to address the section on Grandview that Public Works affectionately refers to as the hump. This is an area where decomposing Pikes Peak granite has continued to wash down the hill for a number of years, and the roadway now is so much higher than the drainage, as well as causing some flooding issues for some of the residents in the area. Public Works would like to have some assistance in doing this project, as the contractor here would be able to accomplish it in 8 hours versus the estimated 40 hours plus wear and tear on our equipment that Public Works would incur doing this. It allows them to continue to focus on other priority areas, and this will also help to prep this area in order to be able to accept a mag chloride treatment. This is an unbudgeted item, so is coming before you. And we do have some flexibility in our ARPA funds for this, if it's something that you wish to do.
Okay, trustees, questions, comments? They did submit additional information to us as far as capturing that it's 8 hours of excavator, 8 hours of general labor, and 8 hours of dump truck. Was that it?
Yeah, we
Okay.
will need to use the town dump truck to accomplish this.
Okay.
So you will see the guys out there. The difference is they'll be out there for 8 hours versus a week.
Right. But it did break it down a little bit more. And that satisfied me anyway. So yeah, with that, trustees, if there's no more questions, comments, I'd entertain a motion.
A motion to approve the Rhino Rock design proposal.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the proposal from Rhino Rock to assist our public works guys up on Grandview Avenue. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, our next item is item 6. Edward is an E, our PPRBD vacancy. And this is something where it has to be an elected official. We do have intergovernmental agreements and obligations that we really need to try to meet. And we're needing a person to sit in on the advisory. I'll probably get this wrong. It's either advisory board or council. I think it's council.
If
So-
there are no takers on tonight, so we can certainly put it on the next agenda until it's full.
Keep after it until someone says yes.
We'll wear you
Yeah.
down eventually.
Table? Okay, okay, I'll move the table.
I'll
The
second
next
that.
meeting. It's been moved and seconded. We table the PPRBD vacancy until the next meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 6F, our 2023-03 nuisance tree, second reading. And if you'll bear with me, I'll go ahead and read through it, and then I'll ask for a motion to approve, and we'll go from there. So this is Town of Green Mountain Falls Ordinance number 2023-03, an ordinance amending chapter 6 of the Green Mountain Falls Municipal Code regarding the definition of nuisance trees. Whereas the town wishes to modify the definition of nuisance trees of the Green Mountain Falls Municipal Code. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Trustees, Town of Green Mountain Falls, Colorado, Section 1, the definition of nuisance trees in chapter 6, Article 8, Section 6-147 of the Town of Green Mountain Falls Municipal Code is hereby amended to read as follows. Section 6-147 and definitions. Nuisance trees are defined as trees or limbs thereof which pose a threat to public health or safety or adjacent property, including but not limited to public rights of ways or trees which harbor any destructive or communicable disease or other pestilence which endangers the well-being of other trees in the town, or which are capable of causing an epidemic spread of insect infestation. In addition, a nuisance tree is also defined as a dead or dying standing tree or any tree that poses a fire or falling hazard. Section 2 is the severability. If any section, paragraph, clause, or provision of this ordinance shall for any reason be held to be invalid or unenforceable, the invalidity or enforceability of such section, paragraph, clause, or provision shall not affect any of the remaining provisions in this ordinance, the intent being that the same are severable. Section 3 on safety. The Board of Trustees find that the adoption of this ordinance is necessary for the protection of health, safety, and welfare of the public. Section 4, effective date. This ordinance shall become effective after final approval and adoption and 30 days after the posting date. So it's 30 days after posting date. Okay. So this is introduced and ordered published on, it was introduced and ordered published on the 15th day of August, 2023 at the Green Mountain Falls Town Hall, 10615 Green Mountain Falls Road, Green Mountain Falls, Colorado. Adopted on second reading on this 5th day of September, 2023. And if there's no questions, comments, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I move that we approve ordinance number 2023-03. An ordinance amending chapter 6 of the Green Mountain Falls Municipal Code regarding the definition of nuisance trees.
I will second that. It's been moved and seconded that we adopt and approve ordinance number 2023-03. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Motion carries. Okay, under discussion items, I do want to quickly bring up, as Marshall Goings mentioned, we do have a UPass evacuation exercise on October 7th. And we're looking for attendees at a kickoff meeting on September 25th at 6:30 at the UPass Elementary School. This is on our website. You can get the QR code there, or you can just show up at UPass Elementary. So I want to call attention to that. Also call attention to our Chipper Days on September 16th and 17th. Folks, if you're wanting to take advantage of that, you do need to email your name and an address to chippersignup@gmail.com no later than Monday. And that's this coming Monday.
And all that's online.
Yes, is the chipper online? Well, the alert banner is this one, the chipper.
Oh, that is on there.
Is the chipper on there? I know we got copies out here. Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, any other discussion items? Okay, moving on to our correspondence. We had several memos come in from the attorney's office. And so we probably ought to get a brief on those and potential impact to the town.
We've prepared a tag team effort on these tonight, so, yes, okay, or is it okay to change, item number?
Echo? No, not one.
Yes, indeed.
8 Echo. You want to do 8 Echo first? That's fine. Order's not that important on these. So
Thank you very much. The no-knock warrant changes come mainly from the Breonna Taylor shooting incident that happened quite a few years back. This is just some of the fallout from it. Having 26 years in law enforcement and 10 years on a SWAT team, I can tell you that of the hundreds of warrants that I've served, 3 of them have been no-knock warrants. Law enforcement is very cognizant of the danger of these. So I'm just gonna walk you through basically what a no-knock warrant is, why we would do it. So no-knock warrant is pretty self-explanatory. We get a warrant to search somebody's house. We knock the door in, we go in, we detain people, we search for what we're searching for. Generally, this was done because it actually stemmed from people dumping drugs. Okay. No-knock warrants are dangerous to law enforcement and to the public in general, just because of that. Somebody's kicking in the door of your house. We know that up here, many people have guns, and you knock in the door to their house, guess what they're going to do? And they're probably going to shoot at you. So it's dangerous. We've been practicing for a long time that we don't do that unless we absolutely have to. Now the law says you shall not do it unless a judge says you can do it. Okay. That also gives us guidance on knock and announce warrants. Knock and announce warrants used to be us just going up to the door, knocking. We've got a search warrant. We kick the door in and then we go. Now they've sent time frames and things like that. You have to have a reasonable amount of time for somebody the size of the house they have to respond to the door, to answer the door. So 3 things with this. That's El Paso County calling me, telling me I have this. So let me finish real quick. You have to now execute these search warrants between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. We were very fond of doing them at like 4 a.m. because bad people tend to be asleep at that time and we can catch them off guard. That's why you see this time frame thing. They're trying to give them a better idea of, we don't want to surprise people like that. And again, possibly have them shoot at us. So be readily identifiable as law enforcement officer. Badges is basically what it says. It has to be clear and visible. This is Sean. Hi. Okay. Yes. Give me just a few minutes and I'll respond to it. I'm going to start by phone. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye. Sorry. Dispatchers are very, very relentless when they want to get a hold of you. So the other part will be, you have to wear and activate your body cameras. We've had lots of discussions about body cameras. And then knock and announce the officer's presence has to have a volume loud enough for the officer to reasonably believe that the occupants inside can hear. Allow a reasonable amount of time before entering, given the size of the dwelling, for someone to get to the door, and delay entry if the officer has reason to believe that someone is approaching the dwelling's entrance, with the intent to voluntarily allow the officer into the dwelling, except that the subsection doesn't apply if the court says you shall go in without knocking. So that's basically what the no knock or the knock and announce one is. And then there's also warrantless searches. So The only time we would truly really go in somebody's house without a warrant is if we were in fresh pursuit of a felony suspect and or we knew that there was somebody being harmed, bodily injury was happening to them. So those would be the two real exceptions. We've, as Colorado law enforcement, have been doing this for years. This is not new. Somebody just wrote it down and said, you shall do this now. Okay, so questions about warrantless, no knock warrants and knock and announce warrants.
Trustees. Doesn't sound like there's any questions. So
We
thank you
got
very much.
ruled now. So.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, back to your tag team.
Thank you.
The next one deals with website accessibility. Here we go. I'm getting up there. Yeah, digital accessibility. So as I understand it, our website is already mostly compliant to this. The issues we're gonna have are gonna be where like the mayor's signature is on a document and the AI can't read it. You know, if someone's visually impaired or something and unable to read the screen, it needs to be able to be broadcast through a reader. I'm not sure, this is all brand new. I haven't wrapped my head around how to get there or next steps, but I have until July 1 of next year to figure that out, but I'm not sure what expenses are gonna be related to that. But we are gonna be required to comply. And that's how it's gonna affect.
Is it from a certain point going forward, or do we have to go and do we got to go backwards at all?
I believe that everything that's on our website will need to be compliant. There are companies that are available to help do this for municipalities. Our next steps will end up just be getting quotes to where we can build them into the 2024 budget. The consequence of not becoming compliant is the town would face up to a $3,500 fine per issue per person. So
I've actually had to do this in my previous life, and we had to go into every document and every picture and every table. We had to describe it. So that, yes, it'll have to be described such that the readers, you know, for the visually impaired will actually pick it up and can read it. So yeah, it's not inconsequential, or is that the right term? It can be substantial. Maybe that's what I want to say.
The good news is I think most of our docs are, you know, already there.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to spend time finding, you know, where we're not and sorting out.
Or in every document where we have a picture or a table, we'll have to, if it's the same as what I had to go through, which I think it is,
I think it is too.
we'll have to go through and describe every picture, every table, and every document. And so that will take us time. And if there's companies that can do it for us, then we might need to explore, you know, see if we can afford to have them do it.
That will be a budget item next year for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
This one deals with affordable housing. So should the town choose to adopt an affordable housing program, and then should the town choose to solicit grant monies from the state, we would have to comply in certain ways. I don't think we can do it. I don't think it's possible. One of the stipulations down here says that we have to explain how we're going to make 10% of our housing stock. Is it 3% or 10%? It's on here. A bigger percentage than we would be able to make affordable housing is required to become affordable housing as a prerequisite to apply. Man, I want to find that language. Here it is. So we would have to commit to this, and then how do we show that we're going to increase our affordable housing by at least 3% by December 31, 2026? And that's the requisite eligibility requirement.
Yeah,
So,
we don't have we couldn't afford to buy one house.
and we don't have big new builds going in where we
No.
can lean on a builder, you know.
And we're landlocked.
Right. So,
Unless we start just arbitrarily annexing.
yeah. So I don't think that applies to us really. You know, unless we really decide to go out there and find a way to make it happen, but otherwise it won't apply to us. This is something that came up, remote access to public court. So when we hold court here, and Nate did this the whole time he was here, so I just kept doing it. But we Zoom it and we record it. So if somebody was, you know, unable to come in to court, they would have a way to, you know, still appear and, you know, view that proceeding. So that's something we're already doing. I'm going to make sure that Zoom is a compliant platform, that there's not some special thing that we're supposed to be using. And it should just be a quick email to Judge Price and, you know, just make sure we can keep doing what we're doing. So that's good news on that one. Should I just keep ripping? I don't think you can zoom in. I'll read it more carefully and I'll get back to you, but I don't think you can. Are you doing this one? Okay.
Okay, this is the Protecting Opportunities and Workers' Rights Act. This came as a result of some new additional legislation. They expanded the Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act by transforming the employment legal description legal framework. This went into effect on August the 7th, 2023, and it redefines the standard for harassment claims. It sets stringent requirements on non-disclosure provisions and expands protections afforded to marital status, such as a protected category in the employment context, and includes new requirements on the retention of personnel records. The biggest component of this is that previously, under federal law, it required that harassment be severe or pervasive. That is the component that has been taken out of this. It now expands the definition of harassment to include any unwelcome physical or verbal conduct or any written, pictorial, or visual communication directed at an individual or group of individuals because of that. As a result of this, as staff, we will be doing some additional training.
It's not only just staff training, we need to check with CIRSA, see if we need to run the board and committees through it as well. Because my understanding is it could also apply to the board and committees.
Yep.
Will we have to change the handbook at all?
I will have to review it
Look at
against our current employee handbook. We do have a pretty good definition of harassment in our employee handbook as it stands.
Yeah, if I remember what we have in there
Is
above and beyond,
right.
You know, what this is requiring. So these are changes also come down to law enforcement and our policies and procedures also.
Our next correspondence here is an item regarding prejudgment of land use applications. This is something that is kind of continuously come up, and it was felt that it needed to be made part of an official record. So it really explains the role of the Planning Commission and the planner, and helps to ensure that segregation of duties is followed to prevent any prejudgment of any land use applications coming forward.
So the planning commission has been very interested in volunteering and extending their time to help staff with reviewing applications and stuff like that. And this is the technical official reason why it's not allowed. But we did try. It sounded really good to me, you know, as a concept and an idea. But we didn't get past this, so.
The last piece of correspondence you do have, you will see that you do have an opening on the Fire Mitigation Advisory Committee. So if there is anybody interested in serving on that committee, we would certainly accept an application. It'll need to go to Bo. Then once that occurs, he'll get it into the packet for the Fire Mitigation Advisory Committee for their recommendation to the Board of Trustees.
Yep. Want to extend our thanks to John Bell for his time, volunteering for the town. Wish him all the best and hope that someday he can maybe rejoin us in something. So.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed working with John.
Okay, although we're at item 9, any other last minute items? Gone at 7:51 and we are adjourned.